to close the gap. George Robson, Indianapolis 500-mile champ, burning the speedway, crashes in a divorced stalled racer obscured by dust. 4 cars smash into the ill-fated turn where Robson is run over and killed. The nearly 40,000 spectators swarm onto the track to where the piled-up wreckage strews the course. In addition to Robson, George Barringer, veteran San Antonio racer, was so badly hurt he died shortly after being carried from the field. 2 other drivers were seriously injured.
For 12 laps, a steady run without incident, and then disaster in lap 13. Only the slow-motion camera can show what really happened. As the car crashed the rails and turned over, Mays, who refused to wear the safety belt, was hurled onto the track. Beneath the wheels of other speeding cars, a dauntless driver met his end.
Car racing this weekend were marred by the death of the 1982 Indy 500 Rookie of the Year, Jim Hickman. Hickman had been bumped from the starting lineup, but with less than 5 minutes to go in a final practice session, his car slammed into the first turn wall. The impact carried it to the exit of turn number 2. He was pinned in the wreckage for several minutes, was removed to a local hospital in very critical condition. Hickman's wife was flown to his bedside and was with him when he died about 4:30 this morning.
Flag. Here is the replay. Eddie Lawson into Krosnoff.
No, that is actually Stefan Johansson there.
Johansson.
And he was moving out to pass another car, which looked like it was Gilles de Ferran. I don't think he saw Krosnoff. He couldn't have seen him. And he moved over. Boy, he got up into that fence. That's his rear end of his car that ended up in front of Ribeiro.
Rodriguez was running in a tough corkscrew section of the Laguna Road course when his number 3 Marlboro Lola left the road, apparently with a stuck throttle, flipped over the wall, landed upside down. Dr. Steve Olvey attended him.
It is with deep regret that I must announce that driver Gonzalo Rodriguez was fatally injured this morning in the crash that occurred.
At 90 miles an hour and just being pulled right into the back of it.
Oh, an enormous crash. Oh, my God. A terrible crash. Yellow comes out again. We're going to hold on identifying this car because there are 2 cars like it in the field. We want to assure ourselves they now report it is Greg Moore. There's his teammate, Patrick Carpentier. Greg Moore was hit on his motor scooter in the paddock yesterday morning by a car. A lot of scrapes, a lot of bruises, broke some bones in his right hand. They built up a whole system out of carbon fiber so that he could drive. He ran a practice drive late yesterday after the qualifying. They cleared him to start in the back.
It was just 3 minutes into their final session when Ed Carpenter spun out in turn 2. He bounced off the wall and slid down. Spotters immediately warned other drivers of the danger. Several made it past. But rookie Paul Dana, the Ray Hall Letterman team, slammed into Carpenter's car at 176 miles an hour. The 2 drivers were quickly airlifted to Jackson Memorial Hospital in nearby Miami. The announcement we all dreaded came at 12:45 p.m. It was made by Brian Barnard.
Both drivers were removed from their cars and flown to Jackson Memorial Hospital, where shortly before noon, Paul Dana was pronounced dead from the injuries he suffered in the accident. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with the Paul Dana family and everyone associated with the Ray Hall Letterman race team.
Up in front of him, and he... Oh, here we go. Trouble contact and a huge crash. Up in turn number 2. Oh, multiple cars involved. Oh, my. It looks like Dan Wheldon may be involved in it.
And Eddie, you and I spoke about this morning on the drive-in. Just this amount of cars, the speed, just the chance for what they call the big one.
And what happens in conditions like that? Even if you're 300 yards behind that, you cannot stop these cars. The only option you have is to try to avoid it, and it was impossible to avoid anything there.
And you saw willpower. His car involved as well. My. What a mess. That's Townsend Bell that was, I think his car was up on its side there.
Any more about Justin Wilson? You're going to be looking on the high side. You're going to be looking on the left of Sage Karam's car. As Karam starts coming down the track, look on the high side. As he comes down the track, Wilson will be going high. He hasn't yet entered the picture. Wait for Wilson to come through. There's Pagenaud on the low side.
The nose section there bouncing, bouncing, and right there on the head. And that is, if that is the nose of the car, that is a very, very heavy, thick object. You see it flying through the air. It's nearly 100 yards in the air, and I would guarantee that knocked him unconscious, and he's just a passenger now.
Oh.